Eh, I hope my ear.
I can still hear you. Can you hear me? Thumbs up, thumbs down. Well, hello,
Hello.
everyone. How are you
Hi.
feeling?
I'm good. So I don't know if it's my ears, but it
Uh-oh.
sounded good before we started, and now
Are you, are you getting the echo?
okay. Now it's good. It was like popping.
Oh, okay.
No, it's
Uh,
perfect. Hi,
I'm here.
everybody.
I'm hearing. Oh, okay. I had to mute YouTube because I was hearing double.
Oh, I don't even have it pulled up.
Oh, I do. Well, I got to do double duty.
Oh yeah.
Hi, everybody. Well, it looks like we got mods in here. So Marie Roscoe's in here. Barbie's
Looks
in
like we
here.
got
Hello.
13 people, but I don't see
Yeah.
them.
Well,
For
they're just lurking for now.
now, hopefully they come in.
I look dark on YouTube, but I look good on StreamYard. So,
Okay, so let's do our test. Me looking at you on YouTube.
yeah, you still look like you're looking a little off.
Oh my gosh, I don't know what to do with
I
it.
know it's all about camera placement, and I give up.
I'm over it, y'all.
I thought about somebody suggested that I put a face above the camera so that I'm always looking at the face.
See,
But
mine, if I look up at my camera, I'm looking up, right?
right, yeah, you
So,
are. You do look like you're looking up.
okay, so what about now?
No, you're pretty close to center. Yep, you
Okay,
look
well, I
good.
just have to look at your picture in the background. I
Whatever
gotta fix
works.
it. I gotta fix this. Barbie,
Whatever
Facebook
works. Hi,
mom.
Barbie.
Hello, yeah, we're having technical difficulties.
What else is new?
Nothing's new about that.
hmm
Oh,
So what's new in the neighborhood?
ah,
Anything good?
no, no,
How's
just
physical therapy going?
it's going good. I'm in paying for it from yesterday.
Did the
Went a
doctor
little.
release you for more
Oh
activities yet?
yeah,
Oh,
yep.
good.
That's what I said. I'm paying for it from yesterday.
Oh, okay. All right.
Yeah,
Well, baby steps.
yeah. Right now, no
Good
weights
deal.
or anything. It's just more movement. My physical
Yeah.
therapist, he comes. Oh gosh, tomorrow.
hmm
Oh,
How's
I
the
just call him my torturer.
how's the bicep feeling?
It's
Does it feel like
gonna
it's
rain
starting to
tomorrow,
heal?
so everything's
Oh,
just like
achy and
on fire, achy. But it's
yeah.
I just had Daryl. It's like, baby, come here. I made him put like 12 salon pause patches on
Oh
me.
God. Ladies, can
Feels
you do me a
good.
favor? I have been obsessing about my audio all day long. I've been testing it. Keela says I sound fine, but
Sounds good to me.
I listened and I sounded like a Muppet in the last show, and I really don't want to do that. Can you guys let me know if I sound like my normal self again, or am I still wonky? Because I'm really paranoid about it.
I'm paranoid about. Hey, Encarnacion.
Hey, Richard.
I mine now. I know I got to look at a picture of somebody in your background. I can't even look at you straight.
Well, I don't know if it's StreamYard or YouTube or what the hell's going on, but Susie was trying to interview Brian Lucas last night, and it was the
Hmm.
most painful thing I've ever watched. It was horrible. It was just constantly clipping in and out, and after about half an hour, she just tapped out. She was like, I can't do this anymore.
Also, we may be having problems with people putting comments in. I was watching, I was in the chat of one of my podcasts that I watched while I was getting ready. And Richard, there you go.
Always the comedian.
And nobody was able to put in, like, literally everybody that was trying to comment, hey, Jersey Jane,
My
hey,
volume's
Brian.
lower. Oh, okay.
Oh,
Speaking
I'm
of
louder.
devil, hello, Brian. We were just talking about all the fun we were having last night with all the clipping and the
YouTube, they're not
craziness.
letting anybody like if y'all have problems commenting, it is y'all know it's not the mods, it's not us, it's definitely not me. But in the podcast I was in just a while ago, we couldn't make a comment. It was YouTube was striking every comment we made.
Really?
So we may have people trying to comment that can't. I don't know what's going on with it.
Is that any better, Brian? I turned it up a little bit. I've got the signal boost on. I've got phantom power on. It should be
Well, you're in
fine.
my ears, so
Well, yeah, I'm in my own ears too. I sound wonderful in my own ears, but that's because I have bone conduction, right? Somebody was trying to explain that concept to me yesterday. That of why your voice sounds different in your own head than it does in a recording.
mm,
That's because of bone conduction. It's weird.
my-
It's
hey, Patty.
Hi, Pink Lady Patty.
Yes. I can't
So
stand it because when I've watched, y'all, I don't watch myself back. But now
yeah,
that we can do these clips, and
yeah.
now I'm like tanking the clips because it's like I'm not looking at the camera. I'm not looking through, and I'm like, okay, when we were testing this out before we went live, and now it's like when I look at because my camera is now over John's face, but it's not now. Even when I look at John, it's not like I'm looking straight through. So who
hmm
knows?
Well, I'm testing out a new setup here too.
I
I've
love
got
it.
new lights over here and a couple of new key lights and a new background. And
Hey, Crystal.
hey,
You
Crystal.
look, yours looks good, John.
Yeah, I don't know. It still seems kind of dark to me. I mean, these lights are really bright too. So we'll keep playing with it. I'm getting ready to spit some content out finally because everyone's getting tired of waiting
Yay.
for me. So.
Hey, I didn't throw
Uh,
you a million songs.
yeah, I've got quite the list together now, so I think it's time to
Okay, well,
pure get off the pot, right?
mine that got me through the whole time. That's why I said through all this was "Don't Stop Believing."
Oh, yeah,
Yeah.
he's a big fan of that one too.
So great minds think alike.
Uh huh. Well, New Year's Eve, I took her to her very first Detroit Red Wings hockey game, and I told her it's kind of a tradition in Detroit when the Wings are winning at the end of the game, they
Hmm.
play that because the line just a city boy born and raised in South
South
Detroit, and
Detroit. Yeah,
20,000 people sing it in unison.
that is
And I
cool.
wanted her to experience that in person, and she did, and she was so happy.
That is so neat.
It was really cool. All right, so tonight we are going to be talking about this is going to be episode 1 in our series about empaths. So we talk about it a lot because
Yeah.
Keela and I are both empaths. We have several friends in the community that are, and I think we throw the phrase around a lot, and it might be confusing to some people because they don't necessarily know what it means or doesn't mean. And so we're going to talk a little bit about what is it, what
Right.
different types there are, and we thought it might be interesting to do a series on the different types. And so I
Yes.
put together a little presentation that I'm going to put up here, and we can just
And
talk
we're
about it a little
probably
bit.
starting with one that I'm going to say probably affects most of us, or there's so many types, but I think the one that we're starting with tonight is pretty, pretty spot on.
Hmm.
because there's just there you go. The
Yeah, you
guys
know,
are.
it through during the course of doing the research for this one, and
Mhm.
this is actually information that we got from
HG tutor.
HG Tutor, who is a friend of the channel, and um, is that his YouTube channel is called Knowing the
Knowing the
Narcissist?
narcissist, yeah.
Okay,
He's
and
the ultra narcissist. Yeah.
okay, so for any of you that aren't familiar with him, his YouTube channel is Knowing the Narcissist, and this is some information that he put together. Um, and we're just going to get right into it and start talking about it. This was one that I have to admit that I wasn't familiar with when I first started doing the research for the show. And so I learned some stuff that I didn't know. And you guys can comment in the chat if, through the course of going through this, if you guys recognize any of these signs or may know someone who exhibits these traits. I thought it might be kind of interesting. So,
And I think there's a lot of crossover also that
oh
we
yeah,
we exhibit probably some of each, or
yeah. So I wanted to start out by saying that I think a lot of people know that we are living in what I would call the label age, and I think that to me what that means is that I think more than any other time, at least in my lifetime, everybody has to have a label.
yeah.
And we've talked in the past about before people knew what ADHD was and ADD, it wasn't a term that was thrown around a lot. And then when my kids were young and were in school, suddenly it became this big, huge thing. Everybody had ADHD. Everybody was on medication. Everybody, and then it became now everybody's talking about how we're all empaths and we're all narcissists and we're all, we throw these terms around loosely. And I think some of them, have valid points. And some of them, at least in my research, are, ways that people can excuse their behaviors or give their personality traits a name and a face just to make them valid. And, I am not saying one way or another whether that's right or wrong, but I feel like we live in a society now where everyone has to have a label slapped on them, whether they do it to themselves or whether somebody slaps it on them. And I think it's important to understand the distinctions before we can talk about the thing itself.
And
So,
you're right, John, you're right about that. On some use it as an excuse for their behavior.
mhm.
Some use it diagnosed.
Self-diagnosis, sure.
Yes.
Yeah.
Um, but one thing I've noticed is with talking about them, I know we're going to get into it, narcissist and empath. Not all narcissists are definitely, have narcissistic personality disorder. They just have traits of narcissists.
Yeah.
Same goes with empaths. Not all empaths are actually empaths. They just have some traits of the empath.
Right.
Now, empaths do have narcissistic traits. That
Sure.
is a proven fact. So
Sure.
it's just a big melting pot.
And one of the things that we're going to talk about a little bit later on in this is how there are people called dark empaths, and
Yes.
that kind of has a narcissistic kind of connotation to it as well. But we'll talk about it a little bit briefly. But first, I wanted to just explain. So, a couple of the terms that we throw around very loosely are empath, and I graduated with a master's degree in human resource administration, training and development. One of the big things that we talk about in HR a lot is emotional intelligence. And so it's important to distinguish between emotional intelligence, empathy, and true empath or empathic abilities.
Yes.
And we're going to touch on that a little bit. So, firstly, what are they? So, emotional intelligence is a measure of how well a person can regulate his or her own emotions as well as the emotions of other people. Emotional intelligence includes attributes such as empathy and emotional control. Now, this is important in a human resource context, or even in your world, Keela, where as a caregiver and a business owner, um, we have to be able to, number one, when things are flying all around us and it's absolute chaos or madness in the place that we're at, we have to be able to keep ourselves on an even keel in
Yes.
order to make intelligent decisions. So being able to regulate your own emotions is critical.
Absolutely cannot make these decisions with emotion either.
Right,
That's
exactly.
that's something
And
that I've learned. Do not make these decisions that affect people's lives and your
yes.
own with
Hmm.
emotion. Step
Right.
back, use your tools,
Hmm.
even if you have to walk away, because
Yeah.
it's not against the law to be emotional.
Right.
But you have to step back until you can come back at it without the emotion to make those decisions effectively and efficiently.
Exactly. And by the same token, it's also important when you are in a situation where two people have a very emotional disagreement about something or something in the workplace, or you have to be able to um, have some level of empathy for what the person is going through, what the points of each person is, and try to put yourself in their shoes when you're making those tough decisions. So
Yes.
emotional intelligence is a very big part of human resources. It's a big part, I would say it's probably a big part of the healthcare industry as well. um,
Especially my field.
yeah. Well,
And
it's,
yeah,
yeah, when you're dealing with people who
mental health
have
field.
mental health issues, it's
Yes.
it's critical. You have to
Emotions
go into it.
control
Hmm.
90% of what's going on.
Yeah, you
Yeah.
definitely have to go into it with an open mind. Um, looks like we got couple new people joining. Hey
Mr.
Ben, hey
Corbin.
Joel,
Hi.
how are you tonight? Okay, so let's talk about empathy versus empathic ability. So
Right.
empathy is simply the ability to understand and share feelings of others. So you're at a funeral and it's someone who was close to someone who's close to you. um, Being
Yeah.
able to understand their pain and to share that grief with them, that's empathy,
That's
basically.
empathy. Yes.
Whereas a person who is empathic has a high sensitivity, either emotionally or physically, or both. Some can be
Both.
both.
Both. Yeah.
I exhibit signs of both, but I think I'm primarily an emotional empath. Um, but you basically absorb those emotions, energy, and physical sensations of others as if they were your own. Now,
We've talked about this a lot about having to distinguish between
your own
what
feelings and
is your
someone
own
else's.
and
Yeah.
what is someone else's. Now, like I said, the way that I learned that, and it took a lot of therapy to learn this in support groups, was what has if my emotions have changed, like
Hmm.
suddenly, I'm talking like just suddenly I'm going from good to bad or feeling bad, sad, and there's no reason around me
Hmm.
that has changed, that my location or my immediate surroundings hasn't changed, then I need to look outward.
Right.
And because if there's nothing changed around me yet, I have this sudden change of emotion, be it negative or positive, I
Hmm.
need to ensure that is it me or is it someone else I'm picking up on, and it's
Right.
real. So
And emotional regulation is a big part of being an empath.
yes,
Most of the people you will meet who are empaths actually wish that they weren't, because it is so emotionally overwhelming.
it's a
And
blessing and a curse.
it is. And you have to have so many tools in your toolbox to learn how to deal with it. And like Keela was saying, just to be able to differentiate between your own feelings and those that you're pulling in. It can be very overwhelming. Now, I made a small note here because one of the things, there's a lot of argument out there as to whether or not empathic ability is a real thing, or is it just another one of those labels that we slap on something that we don't understand in order to understand it. So it is not, empathic ability is not technically a clinical diagnosis, but the term is frequently used to describe a high level of sensitivity, be it
Right.
emotional,
When
physical.
we were going over Carl, uh, before I got sick and had to leave, when we called Young's, is that right?
Oh,
Somebody
yeah,
help
yeah.
me. We were going over what I was trying to start that series and got sick, but
Hmm.
that em, em, empaths have more abilities than yes, thank you, Ben. Carl Jung. Yeah.
Young,
That,
yeah.
yeah, that they remember, they sense, they pick up patterns. I
Hmm.
remember that episode that we went over all that, and I was like, this is some scary stuff when it went into the dark empath. And then
Hmm.
I didn't get to come back to finish that. So we're going to do that in this series.
Yeah, I was very interested in that information as well.
Yeah.
So, okay. So, let's talk a little bit about the science and the controversy. So, some research believe that empaths have a hyper responsive mirror neuron system, which are the brain cells responsible for compassion and mirroring others' actions. The terminology empath is not a formal clinical diagnosis. It's often used interchangeably with the psychological concept of a highly sensitive person, or
Yes.
HSP, though empaths are typically seen as a specific subset that focuses more on absorbing external energy. And the origins, which I found absolutely fascinating because,
Right.
Keela, this explains a lot, at least from my perspective, and I think
Hmm.
maybe even a little bit from yours as well, as to how we got this way. Because I get down on my knees and I ask God constantly, why did you give me this? Because it's so painful. And it says that it may stem from a combination of genetics and early life experiences, such as childhood trauma, that required hypervigilance to others' moods for your own safety.
Absolutely.
That makes a lot of sense
Makes a
to
lot of
me.
sense.
A
Yeah.
lot of sense.
And that
Because,
origins, I mean, that is true. If we all think back, just, you know,
mm-hmm,
like I always said, my mom had eyes in the back of her head.
mm-hmm,
Because no matter what I do, she knew I was doing it. And I always thought it was just a mom trick or something, but she
yeah,
really sensed and knew. And
mm-hmm,
so genetics is definitely in it. I believe
yeah.
that.
And from my
And the early life experiences, definitely.
hmm And from my experience coming from childhood trauma myself, one of the things that I think kept me alive was um, the ability to keep myself invisible when things were bad. And that, that hypervigilance, I think that makes a lot of
Yeah,
sense as to why I am the way
absolutely.
I am now. So that was pretty fascinating to
It
learn.
makes a lot of sense. Yeah.
Yeah. So now we're going to talk about some of the common types of empaths. Now, in the research that I've done, there are people out there who say there are 7 types of empaths, there are 11 types of empaths, there are 14 types of
There's a
empaths.
lot.
There's a lot. And I think we're constantly discovering more because there's a lot of crossover between them.
That's what I was
Um,
talking about. You can have some of the actual attributes of different ones, all
hmm
like a melting pot. And
Yeah,
I think that that's where all you're right, where all of these different types.
right.
Um, there are different types of empaths, and
hmm
we may see ourselves in a little bit in every single type.
Yeah.
It's just, I believe, the situation you're in,
hmm
or what's most prevalent.
Exactly.
You may have some recessive and dominant
Yeah,
traits of it. So
absolutely. It's very, yeah, I was going to say it's very much like genetics in the way that it works.
yes,
And no two empaths are quite the same. So the probably the 4 that I come across the most are listed here, and as we go through the series, we're going to talk about more and more of them. There are um, natural empaths who I think most empaths feel a kinship with nature to some sort, but there are types of empaths who feel the pain of animals or nature in general and things like that. And there's a bunch of them that we'll talk
And
about later
see, there
on.
you go, the melting pot. Because I can tell you when my
Yeah.
dog's thirsty, when my dog's hungry, what my dog wants before she
Hmm.
even looks at me, and that's a real thing.
Yeah, it really is. So the first one is emotional empaths. And I think that's probably, I mean, I'm no expert, but I would say just based on my life experience, those seem to be the more common of the
Yes,
empaths. I myself am an emotional empath. I know you are as well, Keela. And
yes,
basically, what happens is we absorb the emotions of other people. And what does that mean? Okay, well, your friend is having a tough time, and you're sitting there having lunch with them, and they're not talking about it, but you can just feel it as if the pain that they're trying to keep inside them is actually within you. And like Keela was saying earlier, when you start building up a number of those feelings, it's hard to differentiate between which is actually truly your own and which are the ones that belong to other people. So
perfect
you're,
example, John. I
mm-hmm,
walk in, and y'all all heard me say this before, but I walk in to the residence when you have 25 different people in a room,
yeah,
when we had house meetings and things like that and have to go over things with them. I couldn't stay in there, but maybe 15 minutes, and that's all I could absorb. I had to leave,
mm-hmm,
exit left. I mean, next door
yeah,
out, because it was so intense. And being around that much emotion
from that many different
from that
directions,
many
yeah, it's
different
pretty
directions,
overwhelming.
you can't breathe. I literally, it
Mm-hmm,
gets where the physical part of me is where I feel like there's something on my chest. I can't breathe,
yeah,
and everybody knows. They look at me, they can tell. I just have to go outside and
yeah.
ground
We'll
myself.
talk about that a
Yeah.
little more in depth as we go along. But yeah, it can be overwhelming to the point of panic attacks and
Yeah.
a lot of physical symptoms that are not fun. Which leads me to the next one, which is physical empaths. Now, physical empaths can sense and possibly feel the physical symptoms in others. Now, I am an emotional empath, but I do think I have a touch of the physical as well because I remember, and I hate to bring this up, Keela, but I remember the Bob days. And I just remember that every time I spoke to you,
Yeah.
I could feel that pain. I could feel
Yeah.
that huge growth inside of me. And I mean, there were
That's
nights where I cried myself to sleep, and I know you did too because of the pain, because I literally was taking that pain. And it's not, somebody said to me once, well, like when your wife is pregnant or something and you go through sympathy pains. That I think might be a little bit different because that's kind of a one-trick pony.
right.
Now imagine being like that all the time.
Yeah.
Imagine walking down the street and a person passes you and you just have this overwhelming pain and you don't know where it's coming from. It's you're pulling it from that person.
Yes, that's what I
And
said. And you're not meaning to. It's
no,
just that's what part of being an empath is, and it
exactly.
just happens. Yeah.
You have no control over it
No control over
whatsoever.
it.
And it doesn't matter. It's important to note that here because it doesn't matter if you even know the person. They could be a total stranger, but you come in close enough physical contact with that person and you can actually pull that pain in and it can really be overwhelming.
Yes.
Another one that probably doesn't get enough attention are intuitive empaths, and they pick up on unspoken intentions or energy. So an
Okay, I
intuitive,
can explain this one, John.
I was hoping you could.
Okay. So my phone, I get a text.
Hmm.
Bef- I see who the text is from. I'll use my mom as an example, as I have before.
Hmm.
Before I open the text, I already either my heart's pounding, I'm full of anxiety,
Hmm.
I'm hurting, or I'm calm and happy. I'm talking the change of
Hmm.
emotion is instant before I open the text to see what it is. because, and I do
Hmm.
believe because my mom and I, it's my mother, we are very close, that it's probably
Sure.
stronger between her and I. But yes, she always says you can't, or you can't read feelings into text. I'm like, well, mom, yeah, maybe
Mm,
some people can't, but your daughter
right.
can. Yeah.
Right. And, you know, I think everybody to a degree has some level of intuition. You
Hmm.
know, there's mother's intuition, there's, you know,
A
spousal
woman's
intuition.
intuition.
Yeah,
Trust your
woman's
gut.
intuition.
Yeah.
Yeah, exactly. Most of you have it, but I think an intuitive empath can pick up things that normal intuition can't, you know,
Yeah, the
intent
unspoken intentions or
and
energy. I do. I mean, I
unspoken
don't even have to
intent.
be in the same room, the same county with her, and I can, it just
Right,
by text, I can, it's physical,
right.
physical changes. Yeah.
Yeah. And for the most part, you know, these are positive traits. I mean, it's not, it's painful for the person who has the abilities. Um, we all wish that we could turn it on and off like a switch, but
Wouldn't that,
unfortunately, it doesn't work like that.
wouldn't that be amazing?
Yes, it would. But that brings me to the flip side of the coin, which are
Hmm.
dark empaths.
Yeah.
And dark empaths are people who have high empathy, but they use their understanding of others' feelings to manipulate them or for their own personal gain. So that kind of gets into the category of narcissists and, you know,
Well,
that,
all empaths have narcissistic traits, but they're
true.
not narcissists. So
Right.
I think that may be the dominant,
Yes.
it
And
may be
that,
a dominant trait or, to
yeah.
the
And
manipulation.
And honestly, that's a tough circle to square for a lot of us,
Yeah.
knowing that we have those things in within us. And some of us struggle with it. I mean, I know that there have been times when I've struggled with it as well,
Yeah.
because a lot of times we don't even understand that we are manipulating because it's not intentional. You know what I mean?
Not intentional at all. And
Right.
especially if you know somebody that they're, I mean, labeling empath does not mean, like I said, you probably have a little bit of all of it. It's like a
Mm-hmm.
melting pot. But the thing is, whenever you, whatever your, no, I don't like the word normal, but your normal baseline,
We always say
your
it like
baseline
that. Yeah.
behavior and instincts are, people know that.
Yeah.
People know that.
Sure.
So
Right.
it's nothing that you do that's intentional. People will pretty much pick up on, okay, this person's acting a little bit off their baseline. What's
Mm-hmm.
going on here?
Right.
Yeah.
Exactly. Yep. So, with that said, now we're going to talk a little bit about the key traits and characteristics of the, I would say, typical empath.
Yeah.
So, deep emotional absorption. They soak up feelings from others, often struggling to differentiate between their own emotions and those of people around them. And that's what we've been talking about.
Right.
Whether they be strangers or people that you care about, your ability does not differentiate. And once you start soaking up those feelings, it's hard to separate your own out from everyone else's. And that'll be a
My,
common theme in this, you know,
yes,
as we
my
go
own,
on.
just my personal advice that I've learned, and it may not, what's for me may not work for you, but if it
Right.
does, I hope that, at least if it'll help one person, just what I was talking about earlier, what has changed. If when your feelings change,
Mm-hmm.
just suddenly look around you, just stop and look around you. Has your environment changed? Has someone walked into the room and you were fighting with them?
Yeah.
Or has nothing changed
Right.
within you or your area? Then you can pretty much differentiate that that's not your feelings.
Right.
So,
Exactly. The second one is physical sensations. Some empaths, especially physical empaths, may feel others' physical pain or fatigue in their own bodies. That is a very real thing.
yeah.
And I've experienced it. I'm pretty sure Keela has as well. And yeah, that's not a lot of fun either. Um, high sensitivity or intuition. Most empaths are deeply intuitive, often picking up on unspoken, subtle, or underlying energy.
Yes.
Um, that's not always a positive thing, at least in my experience, because sometimes
Your audio,
you
John.
can be wrong. Is my audio crackling?
Yeah.
Well, I don't hear it, so it's got to be a StreamYard
Yeah,
thing.
because
So I
Barbie,
apologize.
Barbie
Um,
said,
yeah, I see it. Yeah, thanks for telling me, Barbie, but nothing I can do at the moment. So hopefully StreamYard rights itself. Compassionate nature. Empaths are often supportive and caring listeners. That is very true as well. And the need for solitude. And this is going to be a recurring theme as
there
we
you go.
go through this series and talk about that. Um, what we refer to like okay, I'll take Keela for example, just because I've known her for so long. I know that one of the things that Keela struggles with is being in um, a large group of people. So, like going to the grocery store, like walking into Walmart, or
Yeah.
I remember when you used to do car talk, we would have to do like a 20-minute pep talk
Just,
to give you enough courage just to walk
yeah.
in, do what you needed to do, and walk out.
Right.
Because when you're in a group of people, you are picking up on everybody's emotions, and that leads to sensory overload. Um,
Yeah.
I don't really struggle with it as much as you and some others do, because I don't know, for some reason I think I've developed this knack for, I refer to it as clearing the mechanism. So
Mhm.
I can make my mind go blank when I'm in a grocery store or a large group of people, and for some reason I can tune it out. Only for a short amount of time, like only long enough to get in, get what I need to get, and get
Right.
out. But if it's
But
a
that's a
prolonged,
tool that you can use to do that.
yes, and it's something that I've had to learn over time, through practice. And because sensory overload for an empath is a very, very real thing. And in order to take care of your own mental health, especially if you've been doing it for a long time, you know that we often need a very significant amount of time alone by ourselves to recharge, because that sensory overload can really, really just throw you into a tizzy.
So today I
Um,
had to get out. Yes, Keela got out of the house.
all right.
I had to go get labs because they couldn't get my labs here at the house. So
Mm.
we went to the lab, got my labs, and then of course, it was fasting labs, so I was starving.
Ugh,
And
I hate those.
I know, right? Especially when it's 11:30 a.m. Yeah,
Yeah.
I'm like, okay, I'm hungry. So anyway, I went in there. Thank the Lord, there was only two people in there. So, but there was one little girl. She was little. I'm probably going to say about 6 or 7, and she looked so sick. And her
Mm-hmm.
daddy was holding her, and she was just curled up in his arms. And then while I'm sitting back there, and they're trying like heck to get my blood, she's just screaming, and I felt her pain. It didn't even what they were doing to me. I
Mm-hmm.
didn't even realize that I didn't feel anything because her feelings were so prominent and
Yeah.
overwhelming. I knew what was going on, but
Mm-hmm.
soon as we got through and we went out, it all that went away. But she was truly scared. I could tell you exactly. I mean, I wish I could have walked up to her father and told her father, she's scared.
Mm-hmm.
She doesn't feel good, and I'm
Yeah.
sure her dad knew that, but just it's things like that. And then we left and we went to eat. And
Mm-hmm.
that's the first time I've been to a restaurant because eating with your left hand, feel like I need a bib. Yeah, not too. But our anniversary
Yeah.
is Saturday, and he's got to work, so he took me to eat today, and I brought half my food home just so I could really devour it when I got
Right.
home, not make a mess. But
Right.
yeah, that sensory overload, just being out and into the community for the first time
Yeah.
in a long time. But that it was. I had to take a nap when I got home. I literally had to lay down and close my eyes.
Well, and I'll say this too, because as we go through this series, you'll learn that not all empaths are created equal.
No, they're not.
Some are much, much more highly sensitive than others. And one of the reasons why this series was important to me is that someone who I care very deeply about
Hmm.
is one of those highly sensitive people. And I did not, before I started doing research on this, I did not understand some of the things that I was seeing with my own eyes, even though I'm an empath myself. Um, we would go to a public place, like say a grocery store,
Hmm.
and she would kind of like be frozen in place in the middle of
Hmm.
the grocery store with this terrified look on her face. And people were like bumping into her and, like looking at her funny, like, move, lady, or whatever. And I couldn't figure out what was happening. I was like, it scared the hell out of me the first couple times I saw it, because I was like, what is
Hmm.
happening? Is she like having some sort of an episode? Is she like going to have a heart attack or a stroke or something? What is going on? Because I could see the terror in her
It's
eyes.
real.
And what I learned was that it was sensory overload. It was that there were
Yeah.
so many people and voices and smells and sounds and sights and
John, have
yeah.
you seen the movie with Mel Gibson
Which one?
um, about what would Misha? Hey,
Oh, hey,
hey.
Mish.
Um, what a woman wants, or what women want.
Oh yeah, 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 yeah.
Okay, so that's kind of, I can't say exactly, like you don't hear people thinking, but
And I hear
that
what
you
they're
can,
thinking. Yeah,
but you can walk around and you can feel what they're feeling. That's kind of
right.
what it's like.
Well, and for this particular the person that I'm talking about, who I've really come to love very much, and I need in my own heart to understand what it's like to be inside her head, because I only know of my own experiences, like I said, and I'm not highly sensitive. So it's like take my empathic ability and ratchet it up to like 15, and
Right.
that's what she goes through. And so, and the way she explained it to me is that it could be something so simple like a smell or a sound, or I mean, we know like with people with PTSD, they hear a car backfire and it sends them into fight or flight mode.
Okay, so right
Um,
now my thing is the dogs are barking. My dog can literally Oakley, y'all know she barks.
mm-hmm,
Like she's just Oakley. Sometimes I think maybe it's because I've been stuck in the house with her way too long now.
mm-hmm,
But just she will bark for no reason. She's a jack in the box. You never know when it's coming. And
mm-hmm,
I'm telling you, I will jump up out of, I mean, it scares me to death. For some
mm,
reason, it's just got me so sensitive. And I don't know
every
why I've
time.
become really sensitive to that. I should be desensitized to it, but
Yeah.
it's kind of backfiring on me.
Well, like I say, the first time it happened, we were in a grocery store, and she literally, we were in the produce section, and she literally just froze in place.
Yeah.
And she had this terrified look on her face, and I thought surely that she was about to have a stroke or something, because I was just scared to death. And I could see the look of terror on her face. And I was talking to her, and I was waving my hand in front of her face, and she was unresponsive. Like she wasn't even there.
She probably disassociated.
Like she disassociated,
Yeah.
exactly. And
Yeah.
later afterwards, she didn't even remember the incident. She didn't remember that happening. She goes, "I did what?"
Um,
Um,
hang on. Miss had, but I was Mr. Joel. Oh,
oh, let me see this.
oh wow, you're moving.
So Mish says, for empaths, even becoming a hermit and not interacting physically with other human beings, for us HSPs. Oh, so Mish, you're an
Yeah.
HSP too. I
Mr.
didn't know
Joel's,
that.
oh, yeah, she
Okay.
is. Yeah. Mr.
Okay.
Joel, well, thank you for
So she
being
knows.
here.
She
And
knows exactly what we're
thank you
talking about.
so much for coming and supporting the
Yeah,
channel. I
thanks,
really
Joel.
appreciate you so
Oh,
very
you're
much.
getting kicked out of your house for
I
that.
know, so I said
Oh,
you
that
sleep.
sucks.
I know.
Ew. Well, good luck on the remodel. Hope that
Yes,
looks
thank you
great.
for being here.
Yeah. So,
Okay.
so anyway, so the
Yeah.
sensory overload thing is very, very real. And for an HSP, it can literally, like Misha's saying, like Keela has said before, the whole HSP thing can literally drive you underground.
Yeah.
And that was another thing that I didn't understand, um, because we went through, and we actually are still going through a situation now where she has had some, she calls it an adrenal crash. And
Oh yeah.
because the brain just gets
Cortisol.
so sensory
Cortisol just gets
overloaded,
dumped.
your
Yeah.
cortisol levels dip dangerously low. I mean, it can be
Yeah.
life threatening.
Exactly.
And she is just exhausted and in bed for days at a time and doesn't want me to be around her. And that's heartbreaking when you're in love with someone because you don't understand that. You're like,
Just know it's not you.
well, that's the hardest part to learn because,
Learn it's not you. It's not anything you've done. And the
yeah,
best thing you can do for her is listen. And if she
is to
says,
just give them
I
time.
want, I need my time, that's the best thing to do is
Yeah,
just to give her that. And don't take it to heart that it's you because it's not. It's a
right.
very real thing.
Well, and it makes me feel horrible because before I did my research on this, I didn't understand any of these things. And so I was insensitive and I was, what do you mean you need to spend time away? And what do you mean you need to be alone? I thought that, we had this great relationship and
But
I
it
didn't
doesn't have
understand
anything
it.
to do with that. It's just her having to, now you see the need for solitude.
Yeah.
Hmm.
Yeah, I do, and it's heartbreaking because I'm beating myself up about being so insensitive about it because one of the things, and in doing the research for this, I read so many comments about things that were written about it out there on the internet, and then
Hmm.
comments that people would make about these things, and they would say, "Oh, being an empath is bullshit. That's just a label that people put on things when they're too sensitive and they're drama
Well,
queens
no.
and they're this and they're that." And I thought, you know what? That's really messed up. But at the same time, that was me not long ago. So,
You don't know what you don't know till you know.
exactly, until you know, right?
Yeah, so
That's,
you
that's,
just go forward. You don't go back.
yeah,
Don't let the past. You know that you can't change
of
the past.
course.
You
You
just
can't
go
change the
forward
past.
with the tools you've learned.
Yeah, I know.
The
It's,
Geyser Empath that we're going to get to is really interesting.
yeah. And it's very disconcerting for me because it makes me feel like I was uncaring and
No,
the
you
exact
can't. But you
opposite.
can't think that because you
Yeah, but the
can't go
exact
back.
opposite is true about me. Anybody who knows
Right.
me knows that I'm probably compassionate to a fault. But when you don't understand something, you
You.
can't square that circle in your
That's
head.
right.
And
That's right.
so you start thinking, you lash out and you say, well, you don't really care about me the way you say you do, or this or that. And then looking back in hindsight, you're like, God, I was such an ass.
But John, you've done what you needed to do. You dug in, you did the work, you did the study,
I
you
am doing
started
the
reading,
work.
you did everything you're supposed to do. And in fact, you're the one
Yeah.
who suggested this series, and I thought it was
Yeah.
incredible. So yeah.
Yeah. And there are a lot of good books out there. I just got done reading a book called The Healing Empath. And it's not, I thought when I picked it up that I was going to be reading a book about how empaths heal others. But it's actually the story of a woman who has been an HSP her entire life
Hmm.
and her struggles to not only manage her own abilities and, taking into account sensory overload and adrenal
Yeah.
crashes and things like that, but also the tools that she's developed over the years to kind of insulate herself without isolating herself, if that makes sense.
That's incredible.
So, yeah, so being able to go out in public and still be able to build that invisible bubble around yourself to protect you from all those feelings and all that sensory overload. And it was, I got to tell you, Akila, from about the halfway point of that book all the way to the end, I just cried reading it because
I
I
wonder if
thought,
it's on Audible. I have like 4 credits I haven't
I believe it
used.
is on Audible. I know it's on
Okay.
Amazon. I bought it at Barnes and Noble,
Okay.
but I did buy the
That's right.
audio.
And Carnesol, you don't know what you don't know till you know.
Yep,
You don't
and
know.
and it sounds like the funniest phrase, but if you think about it, it is so true. It
It is
really
true.
is,
Yeah.
and you can't beat yourself up about it. But all that being
Okay.
said,
Now, the Geyser Empath is one that John hadn't heard about.
No, I had
And
not.
I didn't either until I opened up my wonderful emails that I
From
get from
HG
HG.
Cougar. Yeah.
And yeah, I've been blowing John's inbox up with HG. Some of
And I've
it's
been gladly taking that information.
yes, but
Because I'm a sponge right now.
the Geyser Empath is one that I really wasn't familiar with, honestly. In all my years of doing this,
Mm-hmm.
I was not familiar with this.
Mm-hmm.
But this is the one, just as it is titled, Geyser. Everybody knows what a geyser is, right? Uh, and it's, it just explodes
Mm-hmm.
water or whatever emotions just but the as it says, the Geyser Empath is an individual who is empathetic in nature with the additional tendency to fountain with emotion. All
Mm-hmm.
empaths are emotional. It goes with the territory. Yes, it does. But
Mm-hmm.
some empaths are far more emotional than others. The Geyser Empath is one example.
I just want to pop this up real quick because this Mish makes a really good point. She says, and I know you were a little late coming in, Mish, because I basically said something very similar. Because let me just go back so you can see it and you know what I'm
Oh,
talking about.
yes.
But
Yes.
when we were talking about the origin, so the science and the controversy of whether empaths are a thing or not, in the origins, it says that it may stem from a combination of genetics and early life experiences, such as childhood trauma that required hypervigilance to others' moods for safety. And I talked about my own childhood trauma
Yeah.
and why I think that that is probably a pretty good kicking off point because I knew I was hyper vigilant as a child. I knew when dad had been drinking or things are going to be really bad that night to make myself invisible. And so that hypervigilance, I think, is probably where my empathic ability stems from. And you're basically saying the same thing. What causes HSP? Now, I'm not an HSP, so, and I
Well, all
am doing the
empaths
work
are agent. Well,
to a
not all
degree,
empaths, to a degree, because
But
we're
this
very
is
highly sensitive to others' feelings.
Yeah, but see, knowing that Mish is one now too, Mish, I've been really, really trying to do the work because, like I've been saying, someone I
Yeah.
care about very deeply is one, and I just didn't know what I didn't know,
Not,
and
but
so
you don't know it.
I've really been doing the work to try to figure it out because this person means the world to me, and I don't want to be that insensitive jerk. I just don't. And so what you're saying is that what causes HSPs, in my opinion, is the constant being on from childhood, which was what I was
Yeah,
speaking to earlier. Having to
exactly.
listen, pay attention to, keep the calm of, watching out for, etc. All possible dangers due to not having safety or being protected as a child.
Mish, you must have
Amen.
been reading our notes.
Yeah, because that's exactly what we
It's
were talking about.
exactly what the origin is
Yeah, exactly.
that he brought up. Okay.
So yeah, and in the course of doing my study for that, that's what I found to be the most amazing part about that is where it
Yeah.
comes from. So
So, go ahead, John.
okay, so we're talking about this type of empathic tendencies marked by high energy levels. Now, because I didn't know about the Geyser empath,
Mhm.
as we go through this, guys, let us know in the comments if any of this sounds familiar to you because I know people like this. I don't know if they're empathic, but I definitely know people like this, and I'm sure
And
some
like
of
I
you
said,
do
we
too.
may have a little bit of
A little bit
each
of
type of
everything.
empath, like a melting pot. Not everyone's the same. What did you say? What did you say a while ago, John? All empaths are not. What did you say? Not all empaths are made the same or
No,
something.
yeah, no two empaths are the same. I mean, everybody's
Yeah.
got a different
So,
mix. It's like genetics.
and I think that we may have a little bit of this and a little bit of that, and that's why there's becoming all of these labels as we
Mm-hmm.
discussed at the beginning. So,
Yep,
but
exactly.
anyway, so yes, y'all let us know because we are learning this type of empath as we do this.
Mm-hmm. So one might even go as far as to say that shades of hyperactivity start to appear with the Geyser empath. He or she is always on the go, heading here and traveling there, seeking out people to see how they are and to exhibit their significant caring side with plenty of suitable expressions of concern, empathy, and understanding.
Okay, then.
Yeah.
I only can use one.
So their responses are exaggerated. This doesn't mean that they're false, far from it. The exaggeration appears as a heightened response. There is no subtlety involved. When the Geyser empath is happy, it's shown as a torrent of joy. Their concern is grave and focused, and their hurt is not of a silent tear, but the wail and sobs of the tortured. Such displays may seem melodramatic to some, but they are not. They are exactly how the Geyser empath feels.
So when they tell someone shows you who they are, believe them.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, that's what comes up. The
Yeah.
Geyser empath, owing to the high energy levels, talks often about how he or she feels, but this is not a case of them explaining that because it must be all about them, but rather they will convey these feelings in order to help others by causing them to better understand. Which, when someone talks about being in despair, the Geyser empath will relate to how they know despair only too well and will articulate that feeling in order to demonstrate that they understand how the listener feels.
Mm-hmm.
It's not trying to one up anybody. And
No,
it's probably taken that way,
I was going
but
to say
that's
sometimes it can be taken that
it
way.
can be taken that way. It's not trying to one up someone. It's trying to the Geyser empath is just the guys are it's exploding with emotion. And
Yep.
yes, I'm using my hand pen, but yes, it's so they're not a one-upping. It's truly how they feel.
Right. This person has a tissue thin skin and is highly sensitive. They are very easily hurt, and when we lash out against them, they respond with a fountain of emotion. If they are praised, their thanks will gush from them with greater intensity than a Gwyneth Paltrow Oscar acceptance speech. If they are denigrated, the tears will not flow, but they will cascade along with that trembling bottom lip and a near histrionic response to the pain caused by wounding words.
Yes,
Yes.
yes.
The Geyser
Um,
empath is. Oh, go ahead.
go ahead. No, go ahead. I'll get the next one.
Okay. The Geyser empath is unable to put on a brave face. Whilst the carrier empath is dogged and stoic in the face of adversity, focusing their empathy on resolving the situation in a practical fashion, the Geyser empath will dissolve into a bubbling mess of tears. They are completely unable to conceal their emotions, even for a short time. A carrier empath, which we'll talk about
We'll
later,
talk about that later.
can
Yeah.
do so because they shift their feelings onto solving a problem. The Geyser empath does not have that function. They are excellent at tea and sympathy, kind and comforting words flowing, but of little use practically.
Right. The Geyser empath is better at dealing with intimate and one-on-one situations rather than handling a crowd.
Mm-hmm.
They love nothing more than finding an individual as their project and wanting to use their biggest asset in order to resolve issues, their utter devotion to love. And that's true. It's like almost an overcompensation, but
Mm-hmm.
it's truly who they are.
Yeah.
They are the greatest love devotees of all empaths. They truly believe that with love, everything can be solved. Love conquers everything. All you need is love. Love will save the day. If you were to ask them just how this happens, they could not answer, but explain that love works in mysterious ways, and by being loving, showing love, and acting with love in each and everything they do, this will resolve problems, heal hurt, and bring happiness to all.
Mm-hmm. No matter how devastated they are following the shattering of their heart, they will piece it back together and will do so with greater speed amongst the empathic types. They may suffer considerable pain and they will exhibit the effect more greatly than other empathic types, but they also recharge with a greater speed as a consequence of their devotion to love. Their belief is unshakable. No matter how many times they are let down, hurt, cheated on, and so forth, they will soon bounce back. They are not naive, but rather have an undimmed and undented belief in the power of love. This capacity for returning to the arena of love so promptly after heartache means that they are ideal candidates for post-discard and post-escape hoovers as they refuel emotionally so quickly. And
Right.
that
Hi,
was
Power. Glad to see you. I'm glad you're here.
high power. I left that in there. I know that's a reference to narcissists because
But
this was
that's
written by
okay.
a narcissist.
It was written by a narcissist, and I mean, we're gonna have to get into that
Yeah,
eventually.
exactly.
Yeah,
I thought it was worth noting in there.
it is.
Yeah.
Okay. The Geyser empath is highly sensitive and will be moved to tears regularly, uh, be they tears of joy or tears of pain. There will often be a need for tissue when this person is around. One might be moved to consider them as someone pathetic, but that would be an inappropriate label. Yes, the Geyser empath is very easy to manipulate into spurting out fuel for the narcissist. And because of their beliefs, they will suffer repeated hurts, but their strength lies in their unwavering belief in love and how they soon bounce back following their setbacks. They will do Misery 2.0 when they are wounded and hurt. The sobbing, the wailing, and the tears will be extensive, but it will not last. They do not wallow, but wipe away the tears, reapply the mascara, smooth down the rumpled clothes, and climb right back onto their unicorn of love and hope and gallop into the fray once again.
I got a kick out of that one when I read
Yeah,
it. It was very funny. The geyser will erupt with emotion, with
there you go.
squeals of delight at the good news of a friend who is to be a parent, the triumphant praise for a colleague who secured a promotion, or the devastated collapse following the death of a loved one. The geyser empath believes that everyone has the capacity to love, and that once they do, all their ills will be solved.
Yeah. The Geyser empathic tendency is evident in all of the classes of empathic individuals. This tendency is often seen amongst the codependent class when this tendency manifests in an extreme form. Its presence will exist in other empaths, but tends to be mixed with other empathic tendencies as well. So the effect will be slightly diluted, but not muted. And that's what we were talking about.
Yep.
Just the different things,
Yeah,
different pieces.
exactly.
So,
Yep. Well, that's all I got for that.
okay. So I want to
Um,
answer any questions or
yeah,
any
I starred some comments
comments.
there.
Thank you, Mr. Arm, for me. Don.
Mm-hmm.
I
Mr.
appreciate that.
Arm, a new
Mr.
nickname to add to
Arm,
my list.
Mr. Voice, and Mr. Arm. The voice and the arm.
Yeah. This was definitely an interesting conversation. I don't know what you guys thought about it, but the more I researched it, how many people do we know like that are just, they love too loudly. They are just full of energy. They're nonstop. They're, big believers in the powers of love and the magic that love can bring. And I know people like that. I really do. I
I
don't
do
know whether
too.
they're empathic, but I know people who exhibit those traits.
They have the tendencies. Yeah, they may not be empathic, but they may have the traits and the tendencies. Exactly right.
Mish says, here's a question though. What happens when the geyser empath has reached a point where they start feeling deluded longer and less high hopes than usual? That's a
Okay.
good question.
Well,
Thoughts?
I'm going to give you my thoughts as soon as I pull them up.
All right.
I'm going to give you facts, not my thoughts.
All right. I like that better.
Yes. I just have to do it one armed. So, Mish, I'm coming with the.
Keela Marie says she messaged you.
Oh, okay. I will have to look on there and see. Let's see.
Hi, Violet. I didn't see you there.
I'm trying to get to the. Okay, so the super. Okay, so with regard to this depends on what type of empath, as in like you have the super, the lesser, things like
Mm-hmm.
that, which we will get into. But the super empath is unusual to see the geyser empathetic tendency because the super empath's inherent resilience to both the sudden devaluation and being hoovered. The lesser is drawn to those with this tendency because the effort required. Okay, mid range. Okay. Oh, wait, they're talking about the narcissist, the super narcissist. Okay. So I'm going to have to look that up and I'm going to have to ask HG because I'm sorry, when we're talking about the lesser, he's talking about no send me squirrel videos. I'm one-handed doing the best I can do. He's talking about
And not her dominant hand either.
no, and it's not my dominant hand. Actually, so
Mhm.
the super empath, okay, and then the Geyser Empath. Okay, but the lesser narcissist is drawn to those with this tendency. Okay. The mid-range narcissist will be attracted because of the easy fuel. The greater narcissist reveals in those with Geyser empathetic tendencies, finding the sudden eruptions amusing and playing straight into his portrayal of the individual as unbalanced and unhinged. He or she will take a perverse pleasure in provoking the geyser into giving more and more fuel. So I was going to give you facts, but he did not give me that. So, and can't look it up, but I will have that for you. I'm not going to tell you something that I don't know.
No, it's a very
I'm assuming
interesting
that once
question,
you're that
though.
way, you're always that way. I mean,
It
because
would
it's just
seem, yeah.
I mean, I don't think that, I honestly don't think that it's going to change if you're that way, because they said they're so quick to get back up and
Hmm.
just keep going. That's just who they are.
Yeah. Ben says grounding or image therapy really helps. When I was at my peak, I really envied psychopaths. Okay.
Well, Ben said HG is a ultra narcissist and psychopath,
Hmm.
and he is diagnosed as such.
He's
His
a
ultra
he,
narcissism keeps his psychopathic tendencies at bay. And
yeah.
yes, I'm talking with my one hand.
Yeah, he is a fascinating case study. He really is. The more I read
Yes, he
him, the
is.
more interested I am.
Well, the reason I like him so much is because he helps people get out of. I know narcissists and psychopaths don't like to help people, but he
Hmm.
does. The information that he gives helps victims get out of the narcissist prey and their
Yeah.
and those abusive relationships. And
And as they
he
say, in
also
order to
and he says
understand one, you
he's
got to be
not doing
inside
it
the
to
mind
help
of one.
us. He's not doing it to help anybody. Self. This is from him. He only
Hmm.
does it to help himself, because the only thing that can beat him is death. And now he's got an advantage on death by keep putting out all of his knowledge. So after he's gone, his knowledge is still out there and it's still going. So death can't beat him. That's the ultra narcissist in him, and he's
That's
self.
I was going to say
Yeah. Oh,
that's
you
a
ought to hear him.
very,
He's
very skewed way of looking at
That's
things,
what he
but
says
huh.
from his mouth to my ears.
Hmm. So Barbie says being an empath can be very disturbing at times. I am sensitive to energy, which can be dark at times. Yeah, we'll talk about that a little bit later in the
Yes,
series
we
as
will.
well. Yep, she says she picks up on animals. Yep.
I pick up on animals.
Hmm.
And I'm like, because I usually I'll just get up and do it, and now I can't do that. So now I'm like, baby, she's thirsty, or he's thirsty, or he's hungry. How do you know? Or because I know, or she's hurting. You know,
Hmm.
talking about Oakley or Cronus, and he's like, how do you know? Did she tell you? I'm like, yeah,
Yep, I'm the pity
yeah,
whisperer.
yeah. I mean, really, yeah.
Ben says, yeah, I thought I had schizophrenia for a while. My therapist thought I was a hypochondriac.
No,
Mm,
that's for real, dude.
yeah.
I called my mom. Okay, Ben, true story. I called my mom on the phone and I said, Mom, I think I have schizophrenia. And she said, You're too old for that. You would have been diagnosed way earlier. And I was like, Why am I feeling and sensing all this stuff around me? She said, Okay, calm down. You don't have schizophrenia. You're
Hmm.
just going to have to learn to sort those feelings.
Let me ask you
And
a
she was
question,
right.
Keela, because I don't know if we've ever talked about this before, but does your mom have any empathic ability? Do
Yeah,
you
that's
think?
what I said. I used to think when I was younger, how should I say? I was like, how do you know that, Mom?
Yeah.
All moms have eyes in the back of their heads. I'm like, that's bullcrap. There's no way she could have known that. That's what I say. Yeah,
Right.
she does. She does. I don't know if it's mommy empathic abilities.
Yeah.
I know that she has the ability on the narcissistic trait side to turn it off, like to turn off all her feelings.
Mm,
So I'm not
okay.
real sure. I would never even try to diagnose my mother, because
Mm,
I gave her a shirt that she wears that says "Keep talking, I'm still diagnosing you."
yeah. I
But
almost bought that shirt not long ago.
yeah, so yeah, she's yeah. And speaking of merch, thank you, Facebook Mom. I am working on some merch, but one handed. It's not
Okay.
lining up like I need it to. and it's not good, so I'm not going to put it on there. But
Well, let me know
really
if you need
would be
any help.
appreciative from anybody that does go to the Fourth Wall store. There's still some good stuff on there.
Yeah.
Journals and calendars, and
All right.
I don't know if I've updated any calendars. One-handed is not.
No,
Just want my hands back.
it's not ideal.
No, it's not.
Uh-oh. Oh, there you go.
I was going to
You were
say,
froze
if
for a
y'all hear
second.
barking,
All
Jack in
right,
the
why don't
Box
you...
is barking.
All right, why don't you take a couple of these?
What is it?
I'm in the... Do you see it? Up on the
Oh,
screen?
Barbie. Okay, I'm in the first 3 categories, although I'm sure through the years I may have used it for personal gain. I would like to think I didn't, but we're not perfect. And it doesn't mean that you're that
No.
type of empath. I mean, no, I'm Barbie. I think like we're a mixture of all. We're not all good. We're not all bad. We're just, we are who
Yes,
we
we're
are.
human.
We're human. Thank you. We're human. Labels don't matter. And I'm sure we have all used it for personal gain, because I know I have with I use my mom a lot because I mean, I talk to Daryl, I talk to my mom. But
Mm-hmm.
I mean, yeah, I mean, I definitely have with my mom, knowing
Mm-hmm.
what that text is going to be. So I try to flip that just for personal gain, so I don't have to listen to it.
Yeah,
So, I mean, it is what it is. We're human.
right. So I think Ben was referring to at the beginning when we were talking about slapping
Yeah.
labels on things.
Labels.
People are quick to adopt it. Yeah. Barbie
Yeah.
says, I hate shopping or being in a group of people. It's so draining. Yeah, it really is.
Yes, that would be me.
I mean, it is for the average person. So imagine what it's like for a person who is sucking in everyone's emotions, and it's
I think
crazy.
mine was more on the shopping part, John. I
Mm-hmm.
think mine literally was, like I said, my first real panic attack, like anxiety attack, was when I had to go down the baby aisle in Walmart because there was no one else in that aisle, and I froze, and I didn't know what was happening. I don't think that had anything to do with me being an empath. I think that had to do with me just having a full blown panic attack,
Panic
the
attack,
first one
yeah.
I'd ever had,
Yeah.
and my mom has them, so it is genetic.
Mm-hmm. Ben says, I had the last one on this in spades. It's why I work with computers and was such a basket case when I started digging into psychology. I think he was talking about
The geyser,
the
or
no, I think when we were talking about at the beginning when we were talking
oh,
about
okay,
the not the dark empaths, but the
value, whatever you wrote it.
oh,
Oh wait, I'm missing.
maybe it was a dark empath. Could be. When I think of Ben, I think of a dark empath. The dark something.
He's writing something, but I think I'm missing the.
Oh, okay. He says, I enjoy crowds now. Even when I was in solitude, I was still an extrovert.
I
That's
can see
interesting.
that, Ben.
Yeah, that's true. I can see that.
I can see that.
He said, one of my friends in NCI took me aside and worked with me through hypnosis and grounding imagery. I was able to start
Oh,
to deal
okay.
with it. Well, that's good.
Yeah.
Good for you. Marie
Um,
says, I agree with you. When hypervigilance becomes ingrained into a person's psyche from a young age, then being highly sensitive is almost inevitable. Yeah.
yes.
I
Yes.
never correlated the two things, but that does make a lot of sense
It
after reading
does.
it. It really
Yeah.
does. Mish says, I really want to start learning together peer support more so we can lead with trauma-informed communities moving forward. Yeah, we really want to start getting back to that because
Yeah.
we had a lot of peer support on the Facebook group, and and then Keela had her thing. So Heather Mack says, I've had to learn to ask if someone wants a response or my opinion. It helps. Yeah, that's
Oh,
true.
nice one,
That's a
Heather.
really good one.
That's really
Unsolicited,
good,
yeah.
Heather. Thank you.
Unsolicited can clobber you sometimes.
Yeah.
Okay, let's see. What
And I'm
else?
sure the geyser part erupts, and there's yeah, boundaries. That would be
Mm-hmm.
yeah, that was a good one, Heather.
Yeah. Ben says, if you want to put down a destructive habit, put what you want or how you want to behave on a piece of paper and check in every day. Score yourself on a 1 to 10 with how you did.
Or
Good
on for
idea.
John, he'll make a spreadsheet.
You know I will.
I know you will.
Any excuse to make a spreadsheet,
You
I'm
make a
there.
spreadsheet like that, post it so we can see it.
Yeah,
We
all
can
right.
get it.
What did Ben say? Over the long term, just scoring yourself on it will cause it to sink to the lower brain. The same
Oh.
part of your brain that keeps you breathing will help you when it knows you. Okay,
Oh,
interesting. And
okay.
then Mish says moderation, balance with all things. We all start out perfect. There is good and bad in all of us. It is how we let things affect us and how our environment changes us. Our story is what makes us.
And I think we were
Here's here.
talking about that, about the devil and the angel. Which one are we going to listen to
Yeah.
on
So
the last one? Yes.
I will admit, and I guess I've kind of tipped my hand a little bit during the course of this, that, my intentions, even though my intentions for this series were pure, I have an agenda of my own. And that is that I care very deeply for someone who is an HSP empath.
Right.
And because of that, I want to know everything that I can possibly know about it. So that's my selfish intent. But the more I thought about it, the more I thought, how many of you have people like that in your lives? Or how many people whose lives that you are in don't understand what it means to be you? The struggles that you go through that are so much different than the average, garden variety problems. No
Well, my
one
mom
can,
used to tell me
no,
all the time, all the time. That's all I ever heard was, oh my, and that's why I can't even stand the word drama queen. Quit being such a drama queen.
hmm
Quit wearing your feelings on your
put your
shoulders.
big
Well,
girl
guess
panties on.
guess
Yeah,
what? They're not my feelings, and I figured that out.
right. Well, the hardest part for me, and the reason why I want people to hear as much of this as possible, is because even if you have the tools in your kit now to deal with your own empathic abilities, maybe the people around you don't. Maybe your partner doesn't
Right.
understand and doesn't know how to deal with you, or they don't understand the concept of sensory overload, or that you have to spend significant amounts of time alone when you get like that because your body just starts to shut down and you go through adrenal crashes and cortisol levels that are off the chart, and
Right.
migraine headaches, and where you have to, I know, Mish, I don't mean to out you, but I mean, you've been honest about this in the past, where there are days where you just have to lock yourself in a dark room
Yeah.
because just to make the voices stop, or whatever it is that's driving that sensory overload. And I didn't know what I didn't know,
You
and
don't know until you know it.
I was unkind at times about it.
But now you know,
And
so you can change that.
yeah, and now that I know, and like I said, reading that book,
I like.
I
I'm
cried
gonna get that
halfway through.
book.
I cried halfway through that book, Kila. It's such a good read.
I'm gonna get that book. I have
But
like 4 credits, but I like what Facebook mom says. Yes, a spreadsheet. No,
wait, where's that?
it's good. It's up. I agree.
Yeah, she hasn't had to deal with that in a while. Arya and I are real big on spreadsheets.
Ugh, no,
Well, it's the ADHD brain, man. You got to be checking things off your list constantly. So, yeah. So let's see
maybe
here.
just mad. I had a friend ask me if I had a degree. What does it say?
Theoretical physics. I
Oh,
told him
so
no, but I have a theoretical degree in physics.
Ben.
That's our Ben.
Yeah.
Well, guys, I
I
hope
hope.
that you found this informative. I hope that it will help someone other than me.
I know
Because,
this was great. This was a good start because
yeah,
the reason I say that it's a good start to this series is because before we want to go through some of the other ones before we get into the dark empath,
yeah, yeah.
and there's so many. There's the carrier empath. I mean, there's so many. I did pick this one just because to me it's the those of us that always get told when we do have those traits,
Hmm.
you know, oh, they're hysterical. No, they're not. they're just
They're
them.
crazy.
Yeah,
They're
they're over
unhinged,
dramatic,
over dramatic. Yep.
trying to one up you. No, that is who they are,
Right.
and you can't fault somebody for being who they are.
Hmm.
And that's a. But about I like what Barbara you said about no, it was Heather. What Heather said about asking somebody.
Yeah.
That's a good boundary to put in place for yourself. I like that. Thank you for that.
Yeah, it is. And I think the biggest takeaway from this is that with any empathic person, especially HSPs, who are highly sensitive people, when you have to give them a huge amount of grace and latitude
Yeah.
when they have these bouts of sensory overload, because you think to yourself, well, isolating yourself isn't going to help you. You need me to be there to comfort you, to hug you, to tell you everything's going to be okay. But unless you understand what it's like being in that person's head, even any positivity that you can put their way only hinders them. It doesn't.
Correct.
There are times when you just have to lock yourself away to make the voices stop, to make the sensory overload stop. And that's the only thing that you can do to heal yourself. And if I've learned nothing else from researching this topic, it's that.
Just give some grace
Give
and
some
give what
grace.
they need.
Yep. It
Because the
doesn't
more
mean
you
they
give
don't
what
love
they
you.
need, the
Hmm.
less I believe. Okay, this is my opinion. I believe the less time that it takes to recover, because
Yeah.
you do get excited knowing that there's someone there
Yep.
wanting to, you want that deep in your soul, and you want that. So
Yeah.
the sooner you can release all of the tension and
And the,
all of the and just decompress, the sooner you're going to be able to get out there to go after what you want. And I truly believe that.
yeah, that's the important
That's
thing.
my takeaway.
That's the big
Um,
lesson.
I did want to, because once again, I did not start it like I said I was going to.
Hmm.
So I was going to start with one and finish with one, and I forgot to start with one. So Shelby, for those that weren't here the last time, Shelby gave me, she's the one that I end with, but she wrote me a new one.
Oh.
The one that I said I wanted to start with.
Hmm.
I wanted to start with the one and then end with my regular one. She wrote this for me because I'll read it and then I'll tell you why. And she had it hanging on my computer here. So, your feelings are not inconveniences. They are evidence that you are alive, human, and still fighting for yourself.
Oh, I like that.
She wrote that and she hung that on my computer when I said I kept apologizing for waking her up and having her get up so early to
Hmm.
do my hair and makeup when I was doing that interview on another channel last week.
Hmm.
And she wrote that. She said, "You don't have to be sorry. I don't mind helping you." She
Right.
said, "I just feel like sometimes you think you're an inconvenience. You're not." And I had tears rolling down my face.
Aw,
So I thought that was just really sweet of
that's a
her.
good kid.
Yeah, she is.
You're
She
a
is. This
lucky
time
lady,
next year,
Keeler.
she will not be in school anymore. She will be taking her state boards.
Oh, that's going to be great.
But I know there's probably some more questions or whatever, John, but I want to read this before I forget it too. Growth isn't
Oh,
growth isn't about changing who you are, but becoming the best version of yourself. Yes, Shelby is
absolutely.
very wise soul. Both
I,
of
I
those are
just,
from Shelby.
I just, she is. She's a really bright kid. I just want to read this because it touched me, and hopefully I can get through it, because this kind of speaks to exactly what, when I say I didn't know what I didn't know, this
Hmm.
pretty much encapsulates it. And it's not you. We hate that it's us, but HSPs struggle with taking time for themselves because they want to help everyone else. That struggle alone.
Yes,
Yeah.
Mish. Yes. She couldn't have said it more perfect. It's not you. It's
Right.
just like it's not my residents, John. It's not
But you
them.
know,
I
but
have
you know,
to
Keela,
leave.
and I know, and the average person wouldn't be able to understand that, because they're like, how can you say that it's not me, but that you don't want to see me,
You're
or
pushing me
you're
away.
pushing me away. I thought we were in love, and love doesn't have anything to do with it. It
No,
has
it doesn't.
nothing to do with love.
No, it doesn't.
In fact, the being able to accept that
That's love.
and give the person that grace that they need to heal themselves, that's love. And that
Okay,
was a
Ben.
very hard lesson for me to learn.
But
I do
you know
know.
now, and you
I
have the
do know.
tools, and
I
and
do know.
and grace, and yes, Ben.
Yeah.
Yes.
I'm doing the work, guys. I'm doing the work.
And you're
So,
doing good, John. You really are.
yeah,
I'm so proud of you.
I hope so. I hope it
And
shows, but
thank everybody in the chat for
it's been a
supporting this
tough
channel.
road to hoe.
You've
Yeah.
been through a lot.
Yeah, we all
You've
have.
but we're here. We could do hard things. I mean, it's been a long time since I said that.
It has
I
been.
don't, but I don't have to keep doing hard things.
Makes me smile to say it.
I don't have to keep making things hard to do. Maybe that's the way
Yeah.
I should put it.
But we hope you guys enjoyed this first show. Let us know if you want us to do more, because we have many more to do.
Barbie said
Um,
she's excited. I
Good.
saw that there. Yeah.
I want to talk about a very specific type next time. It's going to require a little bit more research, but I'm already probably halfway there, and that's going to be the HSP intuitive empath, which is a.
That is going to be.
You think this one was a big one? That one's going to be
Violet
a
said,
big one.
please do more.
Okay, good. All right, excellent. Don't forget to leave comments down below if you want to see more, and what types of empaths you might want us to
Yeah,
talk about.
please do that.
And let us know what you thought of the show.
And
Don't
please
forget to
hit
hit
that
the like
the
button and
like
the
button. And the reason
subscribe
we're
to the
saying
channel.
that, the reason I'm saying that is YouTube has been acting very, very strange. I watch
Yes.
a lot of different podcasts over a array of communities because, like, literally, everybody has their own little. Thank you, Power.
Power.
Power, thank you. Thank
Thank
you
you
for
so much.
becoming a member, an advocate. I appreciate that so much.
Hmm.
Um,
English says sometimes the best thing a person can ask for is being able to do what we need to do without more being added to the plates. Believing in us and allow us to not feel obligated to do more is a dream due to our own inside arguments.
Perfect.
It was a tough lesson to learn, Mish, but I think I'm getting there. So
Power, well,
fingers crossed and pray for me.
John, you're doing great
We'll
because
figure it out.
you're a quick study. You figured it
Yeah.
out.
Well,
Power, thank you so much.
I think the key to it is just caring enough to learn, because like you said, so many people are just willing to pigeonhole us and say, well, you're too much and you're nuts, or you've got mental problems, or
I
you're
own all
a
mine.
drama queen, or yes, we all are a lot of things.
Yes, we
But
are. But
if you
that's what makes
care,
us.
if you care enough about someone, you're gonna learn. You're gonna want to learn what is it that makes them tick, and how do I fit into that puzzle? You know.
Right,
So.
right. And I was gonna say one more thing it was about YouTube, John.
Oh
In
yeah.
those communities that I've been, I mean, I mean, sitting on a recliner watching YouTube on TV.
Yeah.
So I found a lot of different communities that I've been in. Literally, like I said, I was in one, and I would have never thought in Super Pup or Pup Groomer.
Hmm.
I'm sorry, I think Super Pup Groomer. She was in there, and now we're at it's 3 mornings a week that they go live, and we're like, I'm always in there. We're always looking for each other because it's so nice to see a familiar name come
Yeah.
up in a whole totally different community. But there are so many there's so many different communities, and YouTube has been giving them bad
Yeah.
heck. They're not able to comment. They're not
Yeah.
able to do anything. So please, I would really appreciate if y'all would hit that like button. And I don't like that Oh
Do
wait,
all
what did
those
say?
YouTube things that Keela
All the
hates to say.
YouTubey things, please race me to the comments. I'll start to that. Race me to the comments. You have to
Misha,
refresh though.
Misha says, by the way, Friday the village will be doing our new weekly check-ins, games, etc. night right after Body Illusions Live, starting at 7 Central. I had to
Okay,
pop this
I
last one
need
up.
to.
Heather Mack says, yes, interesting info, and I want personal appointment with John and Ben.
I need to have. We need to have Ben on for his the voice, and the silver fox needs to come back
Ben
on.
keeps threatening to do new content. I keep threatening to do some content. So maybe we'll meet in the middle somewhere.
Miss so Friday will be great because Daryl goes back to work. Our anniversary Saturday. He goes back to work
Oh,
Friday on 12, so he'll be
happy
working Friday,
anniversary.
Saturday, Sunday. So um
But thank you for that, Heather.
just
We'll see what we can do.
I will put it on my calendar so my phone will say beep.
Oh God, it wouldn't be a Mish appearance if she didn't lulls
The
somebody.
laws. I know.
She drives me crazy with that. I think,
I seriously though want to say, John, thank you for always just thank you for being here.
of course,
Ask when I ask for help, I appreciate it. Thank you,
absolutely.
Mod, so
As before,
much.
yes. Thanks to the
And
mods and the
thank you,
chat. And
members, and thank you, subscribers, and just thank you, anybody that's in here supporting this channel. It means the
absolutely,
world to me that I didn't come back to nothing.
yep.
Yes, I can use one hand, and I'm getting there. I can pick my other one up a little bit. We started active range of motion yesterday,
Oh, good.
and that's why I said the torture's coming tomorrow. He'll be
Yeah,
here
this is
tomorrow, but
this
that's
is going to
okay.
be
It's
the
making
hard
me better.
stuff.
Yeah, it's the hard
The
stuff. I'm
second
already
six,
feeling it.
yeah,
Today. I was feeling like, ah,
the
but
second
it's getting
six
real.
months is going to be the hard part. Yeah.
But I'm willing to put a little bit of pain in to get the use of my arm back.
I'm sorry, Mish is cracking me up.
For
First she
real.
lulls me, and now she for reals me.
I know.
All right, guys. I hope everybody has a great night,
Thank
and
you
we
all.
hope to see you again for episode 2 of the Empath
Yes, and it
series.
will be posted. We will do that. I will make sure that's posted soon.
Yep. Have a great night, everybody.
Oh,
Take care.
thank you, Miss Journey. Oh, love you.
Bye.